Alright, so this one is zero product property, meaning after we factor a problem, after we break it down into its individual pieces, we want to find out what the roots are or the x-intercepts. And so we solve the equation, meaning we set the equation equal to 0, meaning because remember, we can only solve one variable at a time. So in this case, let's look at number 5 here. So 8 parentheses n minus 6, n minus 2. And so think about this. The thing you think about, so like if I had 3 times 2 times 9 times 0, what does all that equal? Well, 3 times 2 is 6, 6 times 9 is 54, but 54 times 0 equals 0. Okay, so even if I rearrange the order, let's say it was 3 times 0 times 2 times 9. Again, because 0 is a part of all the multiplication, it's still all going to equal 0. So that's the idea we're taking here. We're going to find out if we set all the pieces equal to 0, what will the x value be? All right? So we say 8 equals 0, n minus 6 equals 0. That's a 6, I apologize. And then n minus 2 equals 0. So see how each piece gets set equal to 0. Because notice how the whole expression equals 0, so see how it's equal to 0 right here. So we want to find out each piece would make it 0. So we find out there's going to be different answers. So 8 equals 0, we'll discuss that in a minute. But n minus 6 equals 0. So if I add 6 to both sides, n equals 6. Okay? And then if I add 2, n equals 2. Okay? And then 8 equals 0. So notice how there's no variables in that expression, 8 equals 0. So if I look at that and say, okay, if I can't solve anything, we just have to look at the statement as is and say, is that a true statement or a false statement? Which, if you look at it, is going to be a false statement. So we're going to go ahead and give an x through it, because that's not a possible answer, because 8 does not equal 0. All right, so our two answers are n equals 6, n equals 2. And here's, again, what I was talking about. So remember how if I plug in, and if I multiply numbers, but multiply by 0, it's still going to equal 0. Watch. So if I plug in 6 to the equation, so it would be 8, 6 minus 6, 6 minus 2. So in this case, it would be 8 times 0 times 4. Again, it doesn't matter what 8 times 4 is, because anything times 0 will equal 0. Same thing works if I plug in 2 for n. So 8, and then it would be 2 minus 6, 2 minus 2. 8, 2 minus 6 is negative 4. 2 minus 2 is 0. Again, it doesn't matter what 8 times negative 4 is, because I have a 0. Anything times 0 will equal 0. So that's how the zero product property works. So you set each piece equal to 0, find out those answers, and so see how 6 and 2 are both answers that will produce an answer of 0. So that's what we're trying to find. Where does x equal 0? Or excuse me, where does y equal 0? What values of x will y equal 0? Okay, so for here, for number 6, again, they're already in parentheses, perfect. I can set each part equal to 0. 5r plus 4 equals 0, and 7r plus 4 equals 0. And subtract 4. 5r equals negative 4. Divide by 5. R equals negative 4/5. Subtract 4. Divide by 7. R equals negative 4 over 7. Okay? So those are the two answers. Again, you don't need to plug them in every time to verify that. That's just solving by factoring. So we have the factors, and then we just set each part equal to 0. So in the next examples, number 7 and 8, I'll show you how we get to the factors and then get to the answer.